how did you focus on building the business? What were some of the things that you were doing to kind of get yourself up and running? And then as well, did you come out of the gate on fire or did you have some struggles along the way?
I did things a little bit differently. When I got licensed, I met a really cool agent. He had the office next to me, Tom Conley.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
Tom, and
Did you know
Tom,
Tom used to be on our team?
what's that?
Did you know Tom used to be on our team?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
love Tom. I just talked to him last week.
Yeah, he's a great dude. So same with his wife. And he kind of introduced me to BPOs, broker price opinions, and then kind of led into REOs and all that. So my first year in the business struggled. I'm sure everyone does. And my team lead, had some leads, but Tom kept feeding me all these BPOs to do because he knew I was struggling because I was still, part-time at night with, cooking and washing dishes and stuff. And so he kept me afloat on, these little assignments and get, I can't remember, 30, 40, $50 to do these reports. And it got me thinking like, wow, this is a really niche market, but I'm doing all these BPOs for a bank that's going to give this foreclosure listing to an agent. They're going to make all the money. So I was like, why am I doing these BPOs? I want to be the agent gets the properties. So I met just some good connections at Wells Fargo, and they hooked me up with the REO department, and they got me in with them. So REO was massive for me, probably the first 13 years. And the biggest mistake I did was I went all in REOs, and the most I had at one time were 98 properties. So I had 98 properties. I didn't have to go into the office. I didn't have to listen to homeowners. I didn't have to do anything except just do my work, make the property visits, handle evictions, lock, all that. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So I did all that, and every person that called as like a lead on a sign call or online or something like that, I would ignore it. I was so naive. I just said, I don't have time for any of that stuff. And I always had agents coming up to me saying, hey, I want to be a buyer's agent for you and handle all these leads, because I knew I had tons of leads. I was like, I don't have time for any of that stuff. So I literally just didn't follow up on any leads. I just strictly did the listings. And my lifestyle was awesome. I didn't work weekends.
Yeah.
The income was incredible. But when that market crashed in 08, 09, everyone still thinks to this day, REO agents are the one that, had the best lives during 08, 09. Actually, it's the opposite. Because Obama was in office and he did the foreclosure moratorium, and they shut down all foreclosures. And I don't remember how many I had at the time. It must have been 20 something. Overnight, I lost every single one. I woke up with all these emails saying this property's been, canceled. And it was devastating. And I still kick myself to this day, because that's all I did was REO, no traditional sales at all.
Yeah.
And putting all my eggs in one basket just killed me. I was good for a few years after that crash, but I just kept thinking the REOs are going to come back, and they didn't. So I totally switched gears, built a team, because I was solo all those years at Remax doing my REOs, and came to Keller Williams, built a team, and now I'm 99% traditional sales and whatnot. But
yeah. It's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you had a Tom, right? And, for me, like I had Ryan, and I tell agents this all the time, like, just get into the office. Like, there are successful agents in the office that could use the free time that you have.
Yeah.
That will give you the opportunities. Like I remember one day when we were at Keller Williams, Teresa across the hall did a showing with a guy on a foreclosure, and she just wasn't comfortable, after meeting him. And it was really just because he rode up on a motorcycle. and it was a $40,000 house, and she's like, "Hey, do you want this lead? Like, I don't want to work them out." I'm like, "Sure." Like, Ryan was obviously doing REOs, so I was looking for investors anyways, and
Yep.
turned out to be one of my best investors I've had, and the nicest guy, out there. And if you don't put yourself in those situations or those opportunities, you don't know if those opportunities are going to come or not. And a lot of times, successful agents had someone there early on, or had an impact in the early years of their business that, Tom helped you stay afloat, right? You
Yeah.
know, it wasn't stuff that a lot of people wanted to do, but it kept you in the game and it kept real estate top of mind.
Exactly. And to this day, I'll work any price range.
Yeah.
I'll pretty much drive anywhere. Um, I just had an investor just email me just before we got on, and he sends me all of his flips here in town. And he said, I have one in Cleveland. Do you know someone up there? I'm like, huh, I might drive up there for you. Just because he feeds me everything here, I'm going
Yeah.
to take care of him on some one offs. So I'll go anywhere. And I tell all new agents, just because it's an investor, because a lot of investors get a bad rap, they waste agents' times. And, I get it. A lot of them do. They work with 50 million realtors and they're not loyal. And I get it. But I still work with them. I get burned plenty of times, but the ones that do work out are phenomenal. Like
Hmm.
game changing type real estate career. I've had so many investors that'll feed me 3, 4 properties a month to list. That's
Hmm.
huge.
Yeah.
And the networking with their contractors and all kinds of stuff. It's incredible. And even if you list a property that's $20,000, those sign calls and those emails and those leads, it just multiplies and multiplies with other opportunities.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
turn anything.
No, for me, it allowed me to understand the numbers of real estate better.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know, like, I was 22, I didn't know anything about furnaces and cost of window replacements and all, like,
Yeah.
for
None of
me,
us.
now I can walk into the house and be like, okay, hey, this is probably gonna be that, this will be that, and it just helped me so much, working in the REO and investor space when I got in.
You learn so much in that field. And I love that dirty, grimy house that no one wants to step foot in. Cat urine everywhere, and just furniture and trash. You got to literally climb and walk over. I love all
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because the opportunity to make that property awesome is incredible.